Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we'll discover how Tieu Lac secretly returns to the farm, only for Quan to arrive moments too late and find the traces she left behind. Will those clues finally lead him back to her? Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next episode. Tieu Lac walked along the narrow road leading back to the farm with a bag of food held close. Every step felt familiar, yet strangely difficult. She had followed this road many times before, but she had never imagined returning like a stranger, careful not to be seen. When the entrance came into view, she slowed down. Her eyes searched for Quan's car. It was not there. Relief came first. If his car was gone, he was probably still in the city. She would not have to face him, hear him call her name, or explain why she had disappeared without waiting for him. But beneath that relief was another feeling. Disappointment. Part of her had still hoped he might be there. Tieu Lac stood outside the farm for a moment, caught between turning around and stepping inside. She told herself she had come only because of Milu and the other animals. She needed to make sure they had food and that the farm had not been abandoned. That was all. At least, that was what she wanted to believe. She finally crossed the entrance. Milu? Her voice was quiet. Milu, where are you? A moment later, the female dog appeared from the side of the house. The instant Milu recognized her, she rushed forward. Tieu Lac crouched down and opened her arms. Milu. The dog pressed close to her, moving around her legs with restless excitement. Tieu Lac placed both hands on Milu's back and held her longer than she intended. You still remember me, don't you? Her voice softened. I thought maybe you would be angry because I left without saying goodbye. Milu stayed close, as if afraid she might disappear again. Chu Lock smiled, but the smile quickly faded. I missed you too. She carried the food to the usual place, opened the bag, and filled Milu's bowl. The dog began eating immediately. You were hungry, weren't you? Tieu Lac added more food. Has Quan been back since I left? Milu looked up briefly before returning to the bowl. Chu Lock knew there would be no answer, but she continued. Maybe he's still in the city. He probably has too much work to handle. She paused. Or maybe he doesn't want to come back here anymore. The thought hurt more than she expected. She looked around the farm. The familiar tools, baskets, doorway, and small corners of the house were still there. Nothing had changed enough to help her forget. I only came because I knew he wasn't here, she told Milu. I can't stay for long. Tieu Lac moved through the farm slowly. Dust had gathered in places that had once been cleaned every day. Several objects had been left where they did not belong. The house did not look ruined, but it looked lonely. She picked up a cloth and began wiping the table. I'll clean a little before I go. She told herself it was practical, yet once she started, she could not stop. She swept the floor, gathered scattered items, washed the bowl near the doorway, and returned tools to their places. Each small task brought back another memory. There was the corner where Quan had once watched her work. There was the doorway where she had waited for him to return. There was the table where they had shared simple meals. Now every ordinary memory felt precious. Tieu Lac stopped with the cloth still in her hand. For a moment, she imagined hearing Quan's footsteps behind her. Her body became still. She turned quickly. No one was there. Only Milu remained near the doorway, watching her. Tieu Lac lowered her eyes. This is why I shouldn't have come back. She set the cloth down and walked outside. The farm stretched before her, quiet and unchanged. She had once believed this place would become her home. Not because it was large or comfortable, but because Quan had been there. With him, even the simplest days had felt complete. Without him, the same place felt like something she had borrowed and could no longer keep. Chu Lock rested one hand on her stomach. My child, she whispered, this is where I met your father. Her voice trembled. This is where I first thought I had found someone who would hold my hand for the rest of my life. She looked toward the house. Your father gave me a feeling I had never known before. When he was here, I thought maybe I didn't have to face everything alone. Her fingers pressed gently against her stomach, but perhaps I came into his life at the wrong time. She remembered being told that she and Quan belonged to different worlds, that staying beside him would only bring suffering, and that his future would be damaged because of her. No matter how much she tried to forget those words, they followed her. Quan has a family, a company, and a future everyone expects him to protect, she said. I don't want him to lose everything because of me. She closed her eyes. But I still miss him. The confession escaped before she could stop it. I miss him every day. Milu moved closer and sat near her feet. Chu Lock looked down at the dog. If Quan came back right now, I don't know what I would do. She took a slow breath. I keep telling myself I would leave again, but if I saw him standing in front of me, if he called my name, maybe I wouldn't be strong enough. Her eyes filled, but she refused to cry. That is why I have to go before he comes back. Tieu Lac returned inside one final time. She checked Milu's food, placed extra water nearby, and made sure the farm was in order. Then she stood at the doorway. Be good, Milu. Stay here and wait for Quan. The dog looked up at her. Watch the house for him. Tieu Lac bent down and held Milu close again. I'll come back when I can. She slowly released her. At the entrance, Tieu Lac turned for one final look. The farm remained quiet behind her, holding the life she had wanted but no longer believed she could have. She placed her hand on her stomach once more. From now on, I have to think about you. Then she stepped onto the road and began walking away. What Tieu Lac did not know was that Quan had already made his choice in the city. He had given the company to Nam, walked away from the future his father had prepared, and was returning to the farm. While Tieu Lac moved farther down the road, Quan's car was already leaving the city behind. Neither knew how close their paths had come, and neither knew that a few minutes might decide whether they met again or missed each other once more. Quan drove through the city with both hands fixed on the steering wheel. The crowded streets blurred around him. His mind remained at the farm, and with every memory of Chu Lock. Before leaving the city completely, Quan stopped at a small hair salon. He had ignored his appearance for days. Yet this haircut was not about looking like a CEO. It marked the line between the life he was leaving and the one he had chosen. A male barber greeted him and pointed toward the chair. Please sit down. Quan sat silently while the barber cut his hair. For several minutes, the only sound was the scissors moving near his ears. Quan watched his reflection in the mirror, but he barely recognized the man looking back at him. He looked tired, but for the first time in a long time, he also looked certain. When the haircut was finished, Quan paid, thanked the barber, and returned to his car. There was only one place he wanted to go now: the farm. The road grew quieter as the city disappeared behind him. The closer he came to the farm, the stronger his hope became. Maybe Tieu Lac had returned. Maybe she had gone back because she had nowhere else to go. Maybe she was waiting there, afraid he would reject her after what his father had said. Quan knew he was hoping without evidence, but he could not stop. When the entrance to the farm appeared, his heart began beating faster. He parked quickly and stepped out. Milu? The farm was quiet. Quan walked toward the house. Milu, where are you? A moment later, the female dog ran toward him. Quan crouched and placed one hand on her back. There you are. Milu moved around him with unusual excitement, then turned toward the house. Quan followed her eyes. Something felt different. Then he noticed the floor near the doorway. It had been swept. Several objects that had been left out of place were arranged neatly. The table had been wiped clean, and a bowl near the entrance had been washed. Quan stood completely still. He knew how the farm had looked when he left. Someone had been there. His eyes moved toward Milu's bowl. There was food inside, fresh food. Quan stepped closer. Who fed you? Milu looked up at him. Only one person would care for Milu this way, quietly clean the house and return everything to its place. Chu Lock. He said her name as if speaking it might bring her out of hiding. Then he raised his voice. Chu Lock. No answer came. Quan moved through the house, opening each door and checking every corner. Tieu Lac, I know you came back. Silence. He rushed outside and looked behind the house, near the storage area and along the edge of the farm. Tieu Lac, only the wind moved through the trees. Quan returned to the doorway. "Please come out," he called. "Don't hide from me anymore." Still, there was no response. For one painful second, he wondered whether hope had misled him again. Perhaps someone else had come. Perhaps he wanted so badly to believe it was her that he had turned ordinary details into proof. Then he looked at Milu. The dog remained near the cleaned doorway, calm and well-fed. Quan shook his head. "No, it was you." He could almost see Tieu Lac moving through the house, wiping the table, arranging the tools, and speaking to Milu before leaving. She had been there, he was certain. But how long ago? Minutes? An hour? If he had left the city sooner, would he have seen her walking through the entrance? Regret hit him with sudden force. Why didn't I come back faster? Quan stepped outside and looked down the road. There was no one in sight. The road divided beyond the farm, and Tieu Lac could have gone toward the market, the village, or somewhere he had never thought to search. Once again, he had arrived too late. But this time, the pain was different. Before, he had only the letter and an empty house. Now he had proof that Tieu Lac had returned. She still remembered the farm. She still cared about Milu. And if she had risked coming back, then some part of her had not let go of the life they once shared. Quan looked around the farm again. The cleaned floor no longer felt like a sign of abandonment. It felt like a message. Not a promise that she would return, but proof that she was still connected to this place. Hope began to rise through the disappointment. "She can't be far," Quan whispered. Milu moved closer. Quan knelt beside her. "You saw her, didn't you?" Milu watched him silently. "She came back to see you." He rested his hand on the dog's head. "Did she say where she was going?" Milu could not answer. Still, her presence made him feel less alone. Quan stood and returned to the house. This farm had once been where he escaped from the city. Now it would become the center of his search. He had transferred the company to Nam. He had rejected the marriage his father wanted. He had given up the succession that had controlled his future. There was nothing left pulling him back. Quan made a decision. From that day forward, he would stay at the farm. If Chu Lock returned again, he would be there. And whenever he could not wait, he would search every road, market, village, and house nearby. He would ask everyone and follow every sign. He would not allow one more missed moment to separate them forever. Quan stepped into the doorway and looked across the farm. "Tieu Lac," he said quietly. "I don't know where you are." His voice became firmer. "But I know you came back." He placed one hand against the wooden frame she had likely touched only a short time earlier. "I chose you. I gave up the position, the succession, and the marriage my father arranged." Quan looked toward the empty road. "You left because you thought you were protecting my future, but you are the future I want." Milu stood beside him. Quan took a slow breath. "I will find you." The farm remained silent, but for the first time, that silence no longer felt empty. Somewhere nearby, Tieu Lac was carrying their child and trying to disappear from his life. Quan did not know that yet. He only knew that she had returned once, and if she returned again, he would be waiting.